Welcome back to Transform Christmas Tribe Talk. Man, we've just had some fun conversations over the last couple of weeks about just a wide array of topics on creativity. So welcome Nick, welcome Jason back for our last Tribe Talk. Man, I just wanted to start this one off. We're going to talk a little bit about kind of stage design and stage layout and all that sort of stuff. You guys have each been around a wealth of stage designs or stage failures in your time. So can you really quickly talk about maybe something that just didn't work or an idea you always wanted to work and it just never did? I don't know, Dyba, if you've got some of these over the years.
We run into this one problem every year at Christmas that just, it haunts.
Every year?
Almost every year. It haunts us. It's the snow machine.
So we have video for that.
Yeah, we do. So one year we hooked it up and it was at this really like a tender, emotional moment, and all the music had come down and it was just ready for the snow to come falling, and then we kicked on the machine and it was just like a jet was like flying through the room.
Hopefully this was rehearsal.
Yes, this was during rehearsal, but it was like the day before, so there was a bit of a crisis on our hands. And then the next year we did it, and again it was kind of in this park scene, and we got the sound under control and we had some music to kind of cover up the noise, but then when it came down on the vocalist, it just soaked her because it was, it was soap sets, and so that was a big disaster. And then another year we had it up above the choir, and it was coming down, and it wasn't soaking them, and it wasn't too loud, but it was enough. It got it into their heads, like this psychosomatic thing had happened, where they thought they were choking on the snow, and they weren't, but they had convinced themselves that they were. So we hate snow.
So as long as you can find a silent, not too powerful, no choir snow machine, you're good?
Yeah. And in fact, we're probably going to use them again this year.
Oh, no. So stay tuned to his blog on whether or not that works.
Exactly.
Nick, have you been around any bad stage designs?
Yeah, I can't say mine involve a snow machine, but you know, one thing that comes to mind for me is a couple of years ago we did a big tour, and we had worked on writing this big script. There was kind of some theatrics involved, and we wrote this whole thing, designed this whole set, designed this whole show that was ready to go out on a couple-month tour. And I think about 2, maybe 3 weeks before it left, some people kind of just decided they didn't like the script anymore, and we ditched the entire script that had been written. It took months to write this whole multi-part script.
But you still had the set.
Yeah, but the thing was we still had this full set that was fabricated, and there was no time to turn around and rebuild a set. So what we did is we basically just crammed a bunch of other stuff on top of it. More technology. We did a huge TripleWide video wall. Yeah. But the set was kind of this old, it was supposed to be kind of this old, I don't want to say medieval, but it was kind of this very bronze-colored, rocky-looking set, and then we had all these just multi-screens and plasma TVs all over.
So the dots didn't really connect.
It didn't connect at all.
It obviously didn't work. Did you ever have any trouble in the tour with like where to put people, or did you ever?
Oh yeah, the set was massive. So the set took up all of our space. I mean, when you came in, you just saw this massive set, and so you know we had kind of a band involved, we had actors involved, we had speakers involved, and there was just no stage space at all.
So really, great stage layout is less about just filling void. In fact, it sounds like, that's really where the failure was there, is that filling void too much was actually what there, and more on kind of this, how do we create design that may do something more than just decorate? We've talked about this before, Jason, on just this idea that great stage design really has to kind of cause us to feel something.
Yeah. My team, none of us are actually stage designers. None of us have a background in this, but that's kind of what we're tasked to do still. And so we collaborate and we try to ask this question of, what emotion are we going for? What kind of vibe do we want to set? A couple weeks ago when we were talking about this, I mentioned we had done a series called What is Love, Baby Don't Hurt Me. And
with the strip tape.
Yeah, with the strip tape, with LED strip tape. And so we made these triangles to kind of create the sense of neon, and that was all about trying to get a certain vibe and emotion. And really, I think it's important too, as we talk about design and environment and cohesiveness and intentionality, that not only is our set design kind of cool looking in itself or have the certain emotion, but it ties in with the type of videos we make, the type of graphic, print material, website, all these things, even the music selection, We want all these things to create a single environment and experience.
So set design is more than just elements. It's
Yeah.
or production elements. It's all of the above.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I think that's really huge what you're talking about, because a lot in my mind is that set design is part of the overall experience.
That's right.
And you know, the experience is the key. That's why people are there, is they're there to kind of take it all in. And the set plays such a key piece in the experience, in the environment. Like you're saying, it shapes how people feel, what it looks like, what the vibe is in the room. It defines a huge thing.
Yeah.
One of my favorite set designs that I've seen recently is the Michael Bublé Christmas special from last year.
Yeah.
And if you look at the video, there really are moments. It's a triple-wide video screen, so there's a lot of just beautiful moments where just stock content exists. But he incorporates it with both physical elements, what you talked about, but he also lets them be digital at times, and he gets rid of it at times. And so it really did allow him, through the course of his kind of special, to have a wide array of emotions he could pull into it, because music has dynamics in that.
Yeah.
So it really is an interesting question. And I think for us, I mean, just at TripleWide Media, our whole heartbeat is this idea of how do we help give you the resources to create an atmosphere?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, story exists when there is a cohesive setting. And a cohesive setting allows characters in that story to feel like they have a place.
Yeah.
And so, man, I love it. I'm so glad that you guys have been able to be a part of this Tribe Talk. Thanks for taking a risk over the last 4 weeks and coming back. Glad that we didn't have to drag you out of the cold. It is getting cold, and we got Christmas next week, which is awesome. But I just want to one last time, how do we keep in touch with you guys? How do we keep in touch with you?
Well, I think for me, easiest way is to go on jasondyba.com. You can connect with all my social media connections through that, and see some of the latest work that I'm doing and what I'm involved with.
Awesome.
Yeah, and ditto here, you can find me at nicholasrivero.com and get to all my other info from there.
Awesome. So listen, Christmas is next week. If there's anything we can do to help, whether it's ideas or helping you find the perfect content or helping solve some sort of technical glitch, we'd love to help. We do not want you to feel like you're kind of on this lonely, deserted island. But that's what we're here for. Transform Christmas. So we hope that you've enjoyed Tribe Talk. Merry Christmas.